Welcome back to the channel, guys. It's your boy Smokester here, back at you with another video, and today we have tried to qualify for a pro race in MX bikes, and I gotta be honest with you, it did not go so well the first try. I didn't think it would, but I'll tell you what, there was a whole lot of things like this and this. Don't forget about these and this. I'm telling you what, we had a whole lot of these right here for sure, and it's just crazy, a whole lot of that. And overall, man, I wasn't the only one having problems though. We had other people out here that were struggling, kind of like this guy right here, but it was fun. I had a good time, and I think, you know, at the end of the day, that's what matters most. So really, when I first loaded in and I first started to qualify, my goal was simple. First, I wanted to just set down a couple decent laps, which right there, I messed up the first one. Just straight skip the track. But I wanted to set a couple laps and just kind of find my initial pace before trying too hard to go too fast and start messing up all the time. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like I did a really good job for my first time trying to qualify for a pro race. I'm not upset about it, but I'm telling you what, some of these guys are fast, like ridiculously fast. You know what I'm saying? Now, we had skills in here with us, and as of right now at this moment, I ran a 59.95, and I'm 8 seconds behind, 8.2 actually, which means that he ran a 51.7 right here, and I believe towards the end he actually runs an even faster one. Now, for the first couple of laps, like I said, I just wanted to settle in and kind of get the groove down, kind of put in some okay laps. But I noticed that these guys were hitting a pretty big line up here that I did not know about. This right here, instead of doubling, they were jumping onto the table, stepping off, and then tripling out of the section. You know what I'm saying? And so after I noticed that, I was like, okay, once we get this solid lap in, then we're going to turn around and we're going to try to hit this jump. Now, I think a lot of these guys had the track when it came out, and they were probably riding it all day to practice. I'm not saying all of them, you know, but I'm pretty sure the majority of them were riding on it all day, practicing, getting their lines, finding the quickest ones, and doing it that way. You know what I'm saying? So I did not do that. I downloaded the track, and then I actually didn't get on it until a half hour before the amateur series started, and I tried to qualify on the 250. And then after that was over, I got off the game for a little bit till about 6:45 my time, because qualifying started at 7. And yeah, man. So I really wanted to hit this section. I feel like had I put practice in prior, I might have been able to hit this section the way they were. But there was a whole lot of things like this right here. There was a whole lot of things like this. You know, we just messed up left and right like this. Over jumping, under jumping, losing the front end right off the jump, not making it onto the jump, crashing before we got off the jump, just a whole lot of things like that, man. And yeah, so it didn't work out too well for us, and ultimately we were not able to ever fully hit that line. But we did improve our speed by a little bit, which you will see coming up. But what I took from all of this is actually back to what I was talking about before, where I really feel like one of two things needs to happen. We need to either have, and I'm not saying this just because I suck at the game, I'm saying it because in my mind, I feel like I'm a real amateur. I feel like the definition of the amateur in MX bikes, I feel like is me and people that are the same speed as me, around that. You know what I mean? We have a good amount of hours, but we're not extremely fast. Like, I feel like that's the amateur spot, right? So like I said, one of two things needs to happen. Either one, we have a 250 Pro 250 AM, 450 Pro 450 AM, or the people that are sandbagging very badly in 250s that were running 53, 51, 55 second lap times on 250s need to be forced to bump themselves up to pro on the 450s. I mean, at that point, you've gotten everything that you can get out of a 250. You've done everything. you need to be forced to be competition instead of just flat out destroying people. Now they try to solve that by taking, what is it? Where they put like, it's kind of like a handicap where like, okay, the cutoff time is this. Anybody above that, you can't compete. Anybody below that, you compete. But ultimately, that doesn't solve the problem, right? So, like I said, either give us a 450 Pro and a 450 AM, 250 Pro, 250 AM, or force the people in the 250 AMs to bump up to Pro. And I think that would allow AMs and 250s to actually be AMs. But I do feel like there would be a lot of people that would be forced to make that move to Pro, because based on the week to week, there's probably at least 20 people, maybe a little bit less, that compete every week that are just extremely fast. You know what I'm saying? And it's just, man, come on. Like, we got to do something with this. But overall, my overall experience on here was very fun. I had a blast. It was my first time really sitting down trying to qualify. Although I could have tried harder. I could have done a few things better. You know what I mean? I could have put more time in on the track prior to actually getting on and competing. And I could have also maybe followed one of the good guys around in the earlier stages, and or joined like a race before qualifying started and tried to find the fast lines there. But I kind of went into this blind and did not know the fast lines prior. You know what I mean? So there's a couple things that I would like to have improved on, that I have an idea on what I want to do going into the next one that I try to qualify for, which won't be, so not this next week coming up, but the week after will be the next time I'm able to actually try. And I think I'm going to do that a little different. I think I'm going to set aside, half the day and just try to find my fast lines and try to see what people are doing. Other than that, man, we got outdoors coming up May 25th, and I'm definitely going to be trying to participate in those. I'm excited to see what the tracks look like. From what I hear, they're going to be extremely rough. Which, I'm really digging rougher tracks nowadays, so I'm not even opposed to that. But hopefully they run the series a little different for outdoors. Hopefully they've learned from their mistakes, and being that this is like the go-to series for being able to compete in MX bikes, I hope that they have worked on a solution for the problem that we've had in Supercross this year. I don't know if they have. My guess is probably not, but I'm excited to see where it's going, man, and I am really looking forward to outdoors. I really am. And yeah, man, I've been practicing on the MXGP tracks, but ultimately, man, like I said, we had a good time trying to qualify. As you can see, this is our last attempt at a lap for the qualifying session. I was like, man, I just got to put one good one in, and no. We ended up with a 59.06 was our fastest lap for qualifying. And it's not terrible. When I looked overall in my class that I was qualifying with, I think I was 23rd. But when I looked at the results on the page for my MXB, so you have the Heat 1, Heat 2, 20, 40 people in those two. And then you have the top 20 that didn't qualify. I actually made the top 20 that didn't qualify. So that was pretty awesome. I'm super stoked about that, man. We have definitely made a lot of progress in this game in the last couple months. And like I said, man, we're just going to keep trying to get better, keep trying to grind, keep trying to qualify for this, man. And maybe eventually, we can get fast enough to where, we're qualifying every week. Maybe be somebody like Reaper Doc or Troy Jan or Linz and be on that level. You know what I'm saying? We're trying for that, and I'm not giving up until I at least get somewhere around there, man. I really want that. But as you can see here, man, tongue twister. As you can see here, we qualified 23rd on ours with a 59.052. Not the best, not the worst, but that was our experience with trying to go pro, man. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and I'll see y'all next time. Peace.